Themba is a financial expert and coach. He's a consultant and trainer in risk management and strategy and financial services. He's a renowned conference speaker. We have heard Themba before. And I'm also with Maja, who is a founder of Breathe into Financial Freedom Mastermind, financial teacher and money mindset mentor. She has worked with a number of women entrepreneurs in Africa, helping them with money mindsets, beliefs, and entrepreneurs mindset. So if you're joining us, you can just type in where you're joining us from. And if you have any questions, you just type in the comment section. We'll attend to the questions. Maja or Themba will attend to the questions. If you have any other comment that you want to add, as long as it's relevant to our discussion this afternoon, would appreciate your comments. And if you can share the broadcast with others, would also appreciate. I just wanted to quote Maja. I once attended a presentation, and she was speaking of 7 limiting beliefs about money. And she said that some of the beliefs are, I need to work hard for money. Money is evil. Having more money than needed makes me greedy. Money doesn't buy happiness. Money is not important. It's selfish to want more money, and money will corrupt. And there's one thing that really frustrates me when people want help from me. And I can't help because I've got limited resources. And the reason why I'm passionate about world development is because we've learned that we get money, not necessarily for us, but to make an impact. For you to be influential, you need money. So that's why I'm really passionate about financial freedom, because sometimes you get people who need help and you can't help them, not because you don't want to, but because you're limited. So it's not about how much we make, it's how we deal with money. That's why we talk about the mindset. And we also learned that we get more so that we can give more. So if you are trusted with more, it's because you are a good steward and you can use the money for good cause to make a difference to the humanity. So today we also have a new segment where we are introducing a 5-minute segment on our show. In this segment, Themba will bring to our attention any current affairs, that news that may be relevant to our journey, our financial independence and financial freedom. Themba, what do you have to say to us today?
Thank you, Tafadzo. I'm so excited to be on this show today and so excited to share the panel with Maja. I'm so much looking forward to the discussion today. Can't wait. This is our first show of the year. So we've introduced a new segment. In the new segment, I just pick 2 or 3 things that I have seen in the newspapers that people are discussing about, and I just draw a few personal finance lessons from those current affair news. So today I just want to talk about financial scams. It's so important in our financial independence journey to be aware that there are people out there who are actually hell-bent on scamming us out of our money. So the first story that I picked up is of a well-known athlete, Usain Bolt. So Usain Bolt, had money invested with a Jamaican investment firm, and it's reported that he lost about $12 million. $12 million. It was actually a fraud. One of the client relationship manager there was responsible for managing his money, defrauded him of 12 million. Obviously, it's still under investigation, so we'll get more details. But the one thing that I wanted to just share with you from that story, number one, very important to diversify our investments. We've been talking about building an asset base in building that asset base, very important to diversify. You can't put all your eggs in one basket. I'm very sure that Usain Bolt is very, that will not make a dent on his assets. But let's just understand that there are scammers, out there. The other story that I picked up is of a very wealthy family called the Belfer family. This is an American family that has accumulated wealth over a number of years. And what is interesting to me about this family, there are two things that I would want to raise with us in this discussion. Number one, we've always been advocates of passing on generational wealth. So the Belfer family has been able to pass on generational wealth for a number of years, and they are known as philanthropists in New York. But what actually caught my attention is that as part of their investments, when Enron happened years ago, some of you would have known about the collapse of Enron. The Belfer family lost about $2 billion. Some of you would have known about, Bernie Madoff and the fraud by Bernie Madoff. They lost a number of millions, there. And more recently, we had a cryptocurrency fund that collapsed called FTX in America. Guess what? The Belfer family also lost something about, something around 34 million that they lost. What I'm just trying to say is that it's very important for us to build an asset base from which we are going to get passive income. But in building that asset base, let's just be mindful that there are scammers out there. And we must be very mindful about, the possibility of us losing, money. Do not be greedy. Do not be gullible. If I had time, I would have told you about, a number of people who have approached me selling investments that I could see that they are fraudulent from the face of it. Obviously, the third thing that I want to raise is that inflation seems to be moderating. Remember our prediction at the beginning of the year, inflation will moderate, but at some point, in the future, we don't know what might happen, to inflation. So we must be very cautious in our managing of money. Those are the things that I just wanted to raise in this particular segment, Tafadzo. Today, it has always been about scams. Let's just be mindful about scams. Let's not be gullible as far as building our asset base is concerned. Over to you, Tafadzo.
Thank you very much, Themba, for that, to make us aware of scammers. Yes, I'm sure everyone is at some stage received an email where someone says, I'm in Europe somewhere or in America, and with your name, I know I'm connected to your grandfather or something, and I've got some millions I need to give to you. And yeah, and sometimes, it depends on the way you are. Sometimes when you are really struggling financially, you can actually be trapped and into thinking maybe your help is scam. Then you realize that it was only a scam. So we need to be aware of scams. Thank you for that. Maja, you are a money mindset mentor. What is the mindset that has helped you from being a struggling entrepreneur financially to making money in business?
Yeah, thank you for giving me the word, Tafaza. So yeah, when we speak about money and especially about mindset, the problem with the mindset is that we have the limiting mindset ingrained in our system already. So in our subconscious mind, those are all the sentences we heard when we were small. So like, I don't know, in Africa, tell me if I'm correct. So maybe as a woman, you cannot have your career, you're a lady, you should have kids. You're not there to have your business. You should not, so it's not allowed for ladies in Africa. I know some 20 years ago it was like that. It's not allowed for ladies in Africa to actually start making money. So they should only be at home and be available for their family. While on the other side, on men's side, it's the same, but different sentences. So let's say, if you want more money than needed, you are greedy. Making more money than you need is selfish, because there are so many poor people outside, specifically in Africa or in Asia, that it's not fair from us to want to have more money. That's when we start thinking about our limiting money mindset. Because when I started my journey as an entrepreneur towards financial freedom, I recognized my limiting beliefs around money, because for me, my biggest limiting belief was that's how it is in Europe. You need to work really hard for your money. While on the other side, I want to enjoy life. I don't want to only work, but I want to have time for my kids, for my family, for my hobbies. So it was like bumping into the wall, because I wanted more than enough money, but on the other side, I didn't want to invest so much of my time. And that's when I started to realize that, yes, those kind of limiting beliefs are inside of us. And I started doing some exercises, some techniques. Maybe I could share them today if I'm allowed to, because those techniques or those, I don't know, manifestations, when you put this into work, then they can make a shift for you. So it's not about how hard you work. Of course, you need to have a great product or service. That's not what we are talking about. But it's basically how to get paying clients into your business and not just putting yourself out all the time. So what I would say, how I did it. There are so many techniques, but I think this one is the easiest one, but it doesn't go without repeating, because if we are, let's say, 30 years old and we have some limiting beliefs, then we need to remove them, recognize them first, then remove those beliefs and create new beliefs around money. And the exercise that helped me a lot was, first, I needed to declutter. So I started with decluttering my mind about the thoughts that are coming into my life, so into my head. I need to work hard. Money is evil. So those limiting beliefs that I recognized are basically my pattern. Having more than enough money is selfish from me. I needed to remove those beliefs and put another limiting belief, like, if I have more money than I need, then I can help more people. I can have influence. I can be a good impact to other people. That's my motto. So basically, I always want to come with sincerity, integrity, and trust. So I always ask myself, why would somebody trust me? What am I doing differently? And that's how I also teach, because when I talk about money and teach about financial freedom, I never want anyone to give me the money for investments. I want to give them knowledge so that they can start owning their own investments, because it is important to have responsibility on the other side. So the technique I wanted to share with you, first step, so this is basically a 4 or 5 step technique. So first step is to declutter. So to recognize patterns. Maybe if it's hard to start with physical decluttering, then you can start with some digital, I don't know, checking out your email and getting rid of some scammers or some emails that you signed up for and you don't need anymore. Maybe start reading books. So start focusing on things that matter to you. So start positioning yourself as the person you want to become. So not the person you are right now, but the person who you would like to become and what kind of people you would like to serve. Then second thing is to recognize small money wins. So I will give you an example. If I go to the grocery store and I find, I don't know, €1 or 50 cents in the floor, I always grab the coin and say to universe, thank you, thank you, thank you. Give me more of this, please. So I want to attract universe to send the money to me without me needing to work hard for it. It's like, it sounds like a small thing, but in reality, it means that we are focusing on little things. And when we start, the next thing is I started creating journaling. So daily, every day, I find one miracle based on money. So I found 50 cents in the grocery store, or I will tell you what happened to me last week. So I went to my yoga practice and I parked the car inside of the paying parking. And then when I should leave, I didn't have any coins. And the park machine didn't allow me to pay with credit card. So I was basically without money. And then I just went to some snack bar or something like that and asked them if they can, so I can pay them with a card and they give me the coins so that I can pay the park machine. And that was my miracle. So I was able to pay for the parking. I know it sounds silly and it sounds crazy, but when we start recognizing those small patterns, how easy sometimes we find some portion of money, or I don't know, somebody gave us a gift, or a friend thanked us for something with a little bit of money. That's when we are basically telling the universe, give me more of this, please, universe. I'm ready. So this is the thing that really helped me a lot. So I was focusing on where I want to be, and I was focusing on seeing the small miracles every day. That's how I started to change my money mindset and my limiting beliefs.
Thank you very much, Maya, on that. On the show, I think Themba once mentioned that Warren Buffett, I'm not sure, I hope I'm correct, used to pick coins. Mm-hmm. When you valued money to that extent. Mm-hmm. And you know, sometimes we see money all over and we just, oh, okay, this is just 50 cents and we leave it. So if you're going to create wealth, if you see a 50 cents on the floor or wherever in the car, you have to value it and keep it and make good use of it. And yes, that's a mindset. The way mm-hmm. you value money, and yeah, I think things have changed a bit now in Africa. Women work probably even more, some of them even harder than men, mm-hmm. but people are more liberated now, where mm-hmm. women also work. But yes, there are some countries where women are still a bit limited, where they cannot work. And but some organizations are trying to change that, where women are also allowed to be financially independent. But yeah, thank you for that. I think my takeaway is, next time if I see money lying around, I need to take it and value money.
Value it and thank the universe and send it, please, say it, please, universe, send me more of this, please. So that universe, because universe cannot make a difference when something is truth or not. But if we value small things like money is coming to us easily, then we are just going ahead of limiting beliefs. I need to work hard for money. So money is just coming to me easily. Yeah. Can I add one thing, Tafaza? What I realized when I was working with so many African ladies, I realized, and that's basically my motto, that's why I want to have more money than needed. I feel that ladies who are starting or who are entrepreneurs already, they all want to do something good. They're not starting entrepreneurship because they're greedy, but because they want to take care of their family. And from my perspective, the more money especially we as women, because we normally are not greedy, we do not want more money just because of money, but because we want to have the ability to help more people. So my mission is always to say, the more money I can make in the business, the more people I can help for free. And those two are connected. And when we open-hearted come to projects like this or to entrepreneurship, and focus on the value that we are giving out, honestly, from heart, then it will make a great impact on the whole world. That's my key point of being a financial teacher.
Thank you very much. Yes, we need to declutter our old mindsets and embrace the new mindset. Thank you for that, Maya. Themba, mindset is one of the pillars of our financial independence competence framework that you have introduced to us and which you articulate so well in your book. Do you have anything to add to what Maya has just said?
Nothing more to add, Tafadzwa. But before I add some things, I just want to tell the Warren Buffett story again, because it's a good story. I don't know if it's a true story, but it's attributed to Warren Buffett. And Maya, the story goes something like this. There was a 1-cent coin on the floor of the lift, and everyone was trampling upon that 1-cent coin. And Warren Buffett was the only one who picked that 1-cent coin. And many people were actually surprised. You are a billionaire. You are moving around, picking up this 1-cent coin. What difference will it make? And he was able to do the compound interest calculations for them, and was able to demonstrate to them that if I invest this 1 cent in 100 years, it will grow to this much. And I think that's a mindset that we must encourage everyone who handles money. You know, Isaac Newton was the scientist who said that compound interest is the 8th wonder of the world. So to me, the lesson is that as far as money management is concerned, 1 rand, that's the currency that we use in South Africa, Maya, 1 rand, 1 cent is very important because it can be invested and can grow over time. But going back to mindset, Tafadzwa, just to remind our listeners and our viewers that we've got a competence framework that we work with as we guide people towards their journey to financial independence. And our competence framework, Maya, has got 3 pillars. So one of the significant pillar is what we call mindset. So we totally agree with you. We don't believe that you can be financially independent and experience financial freedom if your mindset about money is not changed. The second pillar is about skills. We need to give you hard financial skills, how to budget, how to negotiate. And then the third pillar is about habits. But let me go back to the pillar about mindset and just refresh our understanding on some of the mindset beliefs. You call them limiting beliefs, Maya. Whether we use the word limiting beliefs, these are things that we need to go over. So let me just mention 3 or 4 of them. I know you've got a bigger list, Maya, but I'll just mention 3 or 4 for the benefit of our viewers. One of the things that we talk about is this mindset where people say, things happen to me. It's a victim mindset. And so when you talk to people about their relationship with money, they will present a story where they are victims. They were born in a situation of poverty. They tried to invest money and then they lost. They tell a story of them being victims in their relationship, with money. So we try to encourage people to overcome that victim mentality, so that you are not a victim, in this movie and in this relationship, about money. So one of the limiting beliefs is that belief which says things always happen to me. The other belief that we try to have people overcome is this belief that says money is evil. And therefore, people who've got lots of money are evil people. It's this kind of belief that says, rich people are evil people and they accumulated money through evil ways. They have been corrupt. And you can't actually accumulate money if you are not corrupt. So money is not evil. Money is good. It's an instrument of influence. When you've got lots of money, you can do great things. And that's what we try to tell, people who follow, this channel. The other limiting belief is that I have to work hard for money. We always try to remind those that follow us that if you're working harder than your money, there is a problem, because your money should actually be working harder than you. We encourage people to build an asset base from which they are going to generate passive income to such an extent that when they are on holiday, when they are asleep, their money is working hard for them. And when we talk about money working hard for you, we are basically talking about you putting the laws of compound interest to work in your favor. Unfortunately, many people have got this situation where the laws of compound interest are acting against them because they tend to borrow lots of money. The other belief that we try to tell people is this belief that says I can control, outcomes, and I'm in control of everything. I liked what you were talking about, where you were speaking about believing in miracles. We need to realize that there is a greater force outside of us that we need to tap into. And, Taffy and I believe in God. And when you are relating with money, you almost need to have this mindset that says it's possible to get out of a situation of poverty. It's possible to get out of a situation of debt entrapment. You need to believe, and you need to believe in financial miracles, on a day-to-day basis. You gave an example of simple things, where you were talking about coins. I liked that story very well because it's a mindset that says, I need to believe in miracles. I need to believe and to tap into a force, a power that is greater than me. Because you'll be so surprised, Maya, in our coaching session, sometimes we come across people who are hopeless in a situation of debt and who are hopeless in a situation of poverty. And sometimes it takes quite a lot of faith and quite a lot of belief in miracles. And those are some of the things that we need to understand as far as mindset is concerned. Because if you don't have the right mindset concerning money, you're not going to make it to financial freedom. Thanks, Taffy, for that. So, back to you.
Can I just add something to that? To the mindset and to how to actually get out of the debt. We need to start changing habits, because if we do things, they always say, if we do things the same way as we did till now, we won't make a change. So we need to first make a change to our habit, how we handle money, how we deal with money. So my mission, my basically teaching always goes from the perspective, when I receive any money, so either it is paycheck, either it is a paying client, either if I find something on the street, either if I receive a gift from my family in terms of money, I always deduct this money and give 10% to my future. So those 10% is the money that will allow me in future to actually build my financial freedom. And this is basically just a habit, because what we normally do, what people who are in debt do, so they always pay the bills first, they always pay for the cost of living first, and then by the end of the month they are broke. And that is like never-ending story. It's like a hamster wheel. But if we just change that mindset, so that I am the most important person for myself, and I always need to pay first to myself, I started with, I don't know, 3 to 5% if 10% was too much in the beginning. So the moment I reach any amount of money, I put 3 to 5 to 10% away. And this is for my future. This is the money that I will at some point start investing.
Yeah. Tafadzo, I don't want to hijack your conversation, but back to you. I just wanted to highlight on the 10%, because we also talk about the 10% here. So what is surprising to me is, obviously the similarities in what we teach about money. But over to you, Tafadzo. I don't want to hijack your discussion. You are the moderator here.
Thank you very much, Maya and Themba, yes, even for highlighting that we are not victims. If you grew up in a poor family, it takes changing your mindset that you too can reach financial freedom. So that's why we're learning about financial freedom, because if it's about the habits maybe that we grew up in, or the people, maybe even looking at the people around us, we may be discouraged that it's not possible to pursue financial freedom, but it just takes a mindset change and changing your habits. And Maya, what does financial freedom mean to you, and how did you achieve financial freedom in 2021? If you come to that place where money works for you whilst you are at the beach on holiday?
First, for me, financial freedom is a freedom of choice. So the freedom of how I want to basically live my life, what kind of lifestyle I want to have. So the freedom for me is not about I have 100,000 euros or dollars or $1 million in my account. This is not freedom for me. So freedom for me is, yes, that I can create the lifestyle around money and the money is coming to me. So when I said I reached financial freedom in 2021, this is basically in less than 4 years from the moment I really started with investing. Investing was and is my, I believe, the easiest vehicle to reach financial freedom shortly. Because when you start investing, and I'm focusing on long-term investing, in 2021 there was a time to get money out of cryptocurrencies, which currently is not. So it was also the situation. But what I want to say is that I created a pattern. So I went through calculation of my fixed expenses, so my entrepreneurial and my personal expenses over the year. So everything from food to bills to vacations, everything. And I recognized that I need, I don't know, approximately 15,000 euros for that. And from investments, my goal is to take out 15,000 euros every day, every year, so that I can basically cover all my bills, so that everything that is above that I earn money, that is just for me, for building wealth from investment, so that I can invest more. So basically what I want to share is that it's not so tough. You don't need huge, really huge numbers together. You just need to be specific. What does basically financial freedom mean to you? Because as many people are there, and most of us, we have different topics what financial freedom is. For some is, I don't need to work for money. I can just be on vacation till the rest of my life, which for me, I believe that we humans are not here to just, I don't know, lie on the couch and enjoy life. So we need to work something. And when we are working from heart, it's not like it's tough work and it's a lot of work, but we need to do something. So for me, getting financial freedom is not a term that I don't need to work anything anymore. It's all for some of us, it's let's say I want to get out of debt, or I want to create, I don't know, to make a house, to build a house or something like that. So we are totally different. So it's important for us to recognize what financial freedom means to us. And as I said, for me, it is the freedom of choice of how I want to live my life. And then, of course, there are the investments that can support my lifestyle.
Thank you very much, Maya, on that. I hear you talk about cryptocurrencies. I tried cryptocurrencies at some stage, and I must confess I didn't understand it, so I left it. What would you say to someone who is interested in investing in cryptocurrencies, but maybe they're like me? I didn't quite understand what we're doing with
I would definitely say it is not the right time now for beginners who don't understand the technology behind. I believe that cryptocurrencies are the future, because digital assets and digital money and everything digital is our future. But maybe for somebody who doesn't understand that, that's why I currently don't teach about cryptocurrencies. I'm more profound of long-term investing. Because of compound interest, this is one thing. And the other thing is there is much lower risk. So for me, currently, what I'm teaching about investing in index funds. investing in some potential companies that some of them will explode in next 5 to 7 years, and in some biggest technological companies that just went down last year. Because I think this is the safest way to teach further right now. So cryptocurrencies, so I believe in them, but currently, even though they are growing already, I don't think it's the right time to start here, because you need to first understand, and that's what I'm doing basically. That's how I position myself as a financial teacher. I want to give knowledge to people to actually understand how money is working, how we need to run investments, any investments, without emotions, so without greediness and without fear, without panic at the moment of 2022, let's say. So how to actually understand the behind scene, that's my key.
Thank you very much for that. I hear you also spoke about index funds.
Mm-hmm.
How would you explain an index fund to someone who doesn't have the knowledge about index funds? And maybe in explaining that, I also just wanted to find out, in the beginning, we spoke about scams. Have you been scammed in your journey of investment, and how did you overcome if you did?
I wasn't scammed in that way. I was scammed with wrong decisions because I trusted financial advisors. And yeah, I lost plenty of money that way. That's basically why I started learning, because I wanted to understand. To first give you the insight about what index funds is, because index funds are, because for ladies, it is much easier to understand index funds than cryptocurrencies, because index funds, so when we have a company like, I don't know, Apple or Amazon, or so the biggest companies. So when the company is big enough, they go to the stock market. So when you buy a stock from that company, it means that you are like one small percentage owner of that company. So every stock you have gives you one small percentage of ownership of that company. And then when we have the full stock market, so basically every stock, every company that is like let's say in sector of technology, so Google, Microsoft, Amazon, Apple, Tesla, so all of those biggest companies are in there. And when we invest in index funds, it means that we just take a portion from every company. So let's say technical index funds that invested are in, so those biggest stocks of those companies, it just means that they just copy the stock market. This is the index fund. And the point of index fund is that it is risk-free almost, because they just copy the real existing background of companies. Why investing in index funds is interesting is because they're not owned and managed actively. So they just copy the stock market, and then you can have compound interest out of it.
Thank you very much for that explanation. I hope our listeners have an appreciation of what index fund is. I also just wanted to maybe you mentioned that you were not really scammed, but you made wrong decisions about financial advisors. Yeah. What are the qualities of a good financial advisor? If someone is looking for a financial advisor, what are the qualities that they're supposed to look out for?
The problem is that financial advisors, maybe they don't even know, but they're offering you services or products that are basically bad for the industry. The services that gives them the most of to their salary, so they are rewarded to sell those products. The problem is that those are not the products that are the best for us. It is the best product for the industry itself. So for the company, for let's say insurance company. Mostly, especially here in Europe, we have insurance companies, and those companies are selling you some investment insurance policies. So mixed, combining investing and insurance. And the problem is that so from that investment policy, only let's say 30% goes into investment. Everything else is for insurance purposes only. So I always say, when you want insurance, and of course you need insurance, keep it in one policy. And then when you need investments, keep that in one thing. And basically what I learned is, because we don't understand financial language, we don't understand the small print. That's why it is important to have knowledge before starting even speaking with financial advisors, because otherwise they will just sell you the thing that works for them the most. So that brings them more money than you. Would you add something to that, Themba?
Yes. I would want to add something to that. But before I add something to that, Maya, I just want to make an observation here. And the observation that I would want to make is, we are in Africa, you are in Europe, but I'm just observing that the way we think about money and the way we teach about money is the same, right? It's really the same. Everything that you have spoken to us about are also things that we teach about money. So let me just highlight some of them for the benefit of our viewers. So you spoke about, everyone, regardless of their background, getting financial education, so that you're not placing over reliance on, financial advisors. Because the thing about financial advisors, and I agree with you as well, is because sometimes they don't have your interests at heart. They are commission driven. Yeah. They just push out products based on what will make the most profit for them. And that's what we see about financial advisors here in Africa as well. So I totally agree with that. Then the other thing that you spoke about, which we totally agree with, is in our journey of financial independence, it's about defining things in a customized manner. So you spoke about financial freedom. To me, means that my expenses are taken care of. To somebody else, financial freedom might mean something totally different. So in our financial journey, in coming up with a plan, you have to come up with a plan that is customized, that speaks to your needs. And it doesn't have to be a plan that somebody has done. What does financial freedom mean to you, to me? And that's how, we also define financial freedom. The formula that you have just given, Maya, you spoke about your fixed expenses. You needed to have an understanding of your fixed expenses, and you came to a number. And therefore, you needed to invest an amount of money to cover your fixed expense. That's exactly what we teach in our 5-year financial plan. We believe that within 5 years, I don't know how long you are able to do it, but one of the things that we teach is that within 5 years, you can get to a stage where your expenses, you are generating passive income. The other thing that you spoke about, which we totally agree with, is your view about long-term investing. On this show, we are fans of Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett is one person, we have learned quite a lot from, and he believes in fundamental investing. You identify companies that will do well over time. We also discourage people from speculating and trying to beat the market and that kind of thing, because we believe that one of the safest ways of making money is investing, even on the stock market. You also raised the point about index investing. So your views about index investing are views that we have also propagated on this show. So Tafadzwa, again, just to add to what Maya has said, an index fund tracks the certain indices on the stock exchange. So every stock exchange has got its own indexes sometimes that they are using. And so an index fund is constructed in such a way that it mimics that particular index, and so that it's a passive way of investing. And it's been proven through research that even some of these money managers cannot beat the index, themselves. And therefore, index investing has got a number of advantages. Number one, it's not as costly as active investing. So if you look at the fees, they are much more manageable in investing in an index fund. But also you've got a greater likelihood of achieving your investment objective rather than trying to beat the market. Why not just invest in an index fund, which is, sort of tracking a particular index? So we also say the same thing, particularly for people that are beginning to have a journey into the stock market. You're beginning to learn to invest. The safest way is to go with an index, in an index fund. The other thing that I found interesting are your views about cryptocurrencies. We've also shared the same views on this show. I personally believe that, the technology around cryptocurrencies, the distributed ledger, technology and what have you, is the way for the future. That's where we are going in the future. But for this year, we've also advised people to stay away from cryptocurrency. Our view about investing is that don't invest in something that you don't understand.
Yeah.
You need to invest in something that you have gained an understanding on. We are advocates of research in investing, so that when you invest, you have fully informed yourself about what that product is all about and the returns and whether it's suitable with, your own risk appetite. Because, we've got different risk appetites. Some people are risk averse, other people are risk taking. So whatever you invest in has to be suited to your, risk appetite. So I just wanted to make that observation, that, whatever you're teaching about money, in Europe are the same things that we are teaching about money, in this part of the world, as well. So totally agree, with everything that you have said, there, Maja.
Which is totally incredible. We didn't even met before today, we need to say. So me and Themba never met. And we're basically speaking and have the same values about investing.
Yes.
I would add something to this when we are just having a discussion. In Europe, and I believe in Africa is the same. There is so much talk about forex investing. So it's not forex investing, forex is trading, and you need to know something. So especially the listeners need to understand that when you start trading with forex, with any kind of forex, either it is eToro or forex or some stock exchange, so not stock exchanges but currency exchanges, it means that mostly 80% of people lose their money within first 2 months. That is the statistic that they don't tell you. So it always starts super effective, and then after a few months you just put your money in and you lose most of the things. So that's why I really avoid, and I want to address this really properly. The biggest difference between trading and investing is in how active you are with that, because what I like with index funds is that it's basically totally passive. I invest, I go to the platform twice a year or maybe 3 times per year for 30 minutes. So that's basically the thing that anyone can learn, and you don't need to be afraid of this. And the other thing is, which is very important for me, you can sleep during the night because you are stress-free when investing for long term.
Thank you very much. Themba, I've got 3 questions for you. The first one is, we're talking about financial advisors and the disadvantages that mostly they are promoting their product. Why should we trust a financial coach to a financial advisor? Then the second one is, in your journey for investing, have you also been scammed? And if so, how did you overcome it? Then the last question is, if to someone who may be investing in shares, because Maja was talking about just visiting the index fund twice a year for 30 minutes. What would you advise someone as in investing in shares and index fund? What's the difference?
Tafadzwa, I would need 2 hours to address your questions, 2 hours to address your question. But let me just quickly go through them. The first question is, have I been scammed? There are a lot of financial scams. The story that I want to tell very quickly in 30 seconds, and this is a very true story that happened last week, Maya. It happened to me last week. So the long and short of it is that I go to a church, somewhere. Somebody at our church referred me to somebody and say, approach this person if you want to do business with them. So that person approached me. They were coming from another African country called DRC. And they said to me, we've got a very precious stone that we would want to sell on the black market in Johannesburg. Can you actually help us to facilitate that transaction? So they said, if you help us to facilitate that transaction, you'll get 15% commission. All right, that was the deal. So remember, it's somebody that is coming through a referral. So that person contacted me. I said to them, what stone do you want to sell in Johannesburg? They said it's palladium. I hadn't dealt with palladium. At the end of the day, I contacted certain people. They were supposed to make 20 million rands out of this transaction. And my cut was 15% of that, just like that. But I knew it was a scam. I knew it was a scam. The reason why I played along with these people is I just wanted to know to what extent have these kind of scams actually evolved to. So I ended up in a luxurious flat somewhere in Rosebank, last week. We signed agreements, everything. And then, as it always seems, it came to a stage where I have to pay 100,000 rands in order to get that 2 million. That's where the catch was. And so I knew it was a scam, so I actually got out of it. The reason why I'm telling this story is that opportunities will present to you where you can make money immediately, quickly, just like that. If it is too good to be true, it definitely is too good to be true. Stay away from all of those things. So yes, Tafadzwa, I've been scammed in the past. I avoided a scam last week. You also asked me to talk about, financial advisors. In South Africa, for anybody to be a financial advisor, they have to be registered with a regulatory body called the Financial Services Board. So for all of our audience who will use financial advisors, make sure that that person is registered. So nobody in South Africa can dispense financial advice if they are not registered. So the difference between an advisor and a coach is that for you to advise people on money so that they can follow your advice, you need to be accredited and registered in South Africa. A coach is a coach. A coach is supposed to bring the best out of people. A coach is supposed to coach, people. So I'm a financial coach. One of the things that I do is I coach people using a framework. And what I'm trying to do is to help them overcome limiting beliefs that we've been speaking about, develop the right mindset and the right habits. So that's sort of the coaching journey to bring the best out of people. If I were to summarize what coaching is all about, coaching is about bringing the best out of people. If you are meant to be financially independent and to experience financial freedom, you need somebody like Maya, who has experienced financial freedom, who has traveled the journey, and who are able to coach you. So a coach understands where you are, tries to guide you along the journey so that you can reach your objectives and be the best version of yourself. That's what coaching is all about. And that's the difference between coaching and advice. We don't dispense financial advice. And we don't say, go and invest. We disseminate knowledge. We tell you principles around money. And that's essentially part of the coaching that we do. Then you asked me a question around, index, funds. I think your question was, do I invest in index funds? Yes, I do. I think that's sort of an entry journey into stock market investing. Obviously, as you gain more knowledge, I've gained more knowledge, and I've tried to diversify my portfolio, over time. And it's something that we coach people, in terms of gaining knowledge. And I've also gone, one of the companies that I invested in, which did tremendously well, was a company that had come to the stock market. I had studied it and researched on this company, and I was able to make incredible returns, around that. It's all about gaining knowledge. But we are all for index funds. We like what has been shared today. So that's briefly my response to your questions, Tafadzo.
Thank you very much. I just learned that we almost lost 100,000 to Eskom, but it's a discussion for another day. Maya, let's move on to talk.
Can I just add something about financial coaches and financial advisors, how I see it as a financial coach, why I basically started working and teaching, learning about financial stuff, because I was so it's really easy to go to financial advisors, say I have 100,000 euros and I want to invest them in something, but I want to understand where am I investing. And this way I lost basically 30K in euros, so 30,000 in euros, because of the wrong investing decisions, because just market crashed. So it was year 2007 when the financial crisis started, and I lost basically during the night, I lost everything. Because they couldn't operate so quickly, people were taking money away and they didn't allow you to take your money away. And this was my moment when I said, no, money is too important. We work too hard for it to just trust somebody to work in our favor. That's how I started, and that's why I started, and that's why I want people to understand the background of money, basically. Because when you understand and you have the control over your investments, you can make a reaction. Let's say now, when markets are dropping in 2022, I can easily make a different investment if I have the knowledge. And that for me is the most important thing.
Thank you very much, Maya. Let's move on and talk about the passive income. We've been talking a lot about creating passive income. Can you give our listeners some practical ideas on how to create streams of income, of passive income?
Yeah, it will be my pleasure. So online markets are growing rapidly. So it is pretty easy these days to create a passive income. So just try to focus on yourself. What have you achieved, or what have you gone through? What have you learned during this tough situation? Either it is health related, or partnership related, or money related. So let's say for me, it could be a passive income, how I went out of 30K debt, or how I started my own business. So something that I achieved already, and I can speak about that. And I just created a passive income product, so a digital product, which only needs basically marketing and people to get into it, and they buy it. Or for me, my biggest passive income was starting investing. Now I have built my business around passive income products. So I have so the program we are talking here is not passive because I actively participate, but I have another program here in Slovenia, which is a course, a 6-week course, let's say, again, around money, around limiting beliefs, around investing. And this is the thing that operates without me. This is when we say money is coming to me when I sleep.
Thank you very much for those highlights. Like, you can do an online course where people can just buy and do it themselves. It's a method, another means of passive income, because you won't be actively involved. And if you start your own business, if it has a way to generate money when you are not actively involved, and also you spoke about digital markets, where we use the online marketing or having a product digitally where people can purchase without you being actively involved. Okay, Themba, I'll direct the same question to you. Any practical ideas on how to create streams of passive income?
Tafadzo, you directed a question last week from somebody who had an amount of money and they wanted to see how they can create passive income out of that amount of money. I think from what we've discussed today, one of the most practical ways is to invest in an index fund. I think that's one of the things that we can say. So that would be, a suggestion to that particular person who said, I've got this amount of money. How can I create a stream of passive income, out of it practically? So we've already given a practical idea around index funds, today. I also coach a number of people who are able to have a second property in property investing. And they've accumulated knowledge to such an extent that they know how the property market works and they're able to put tenants in there. That's another practical way of creating a passive stream of income. One of the things that we are actively working on, I haven't been as successful as you are, Maya, so I am actually learning. So we've been able to develop a number of products in our company. So for the first time, we are now putting them online so we're creating a website where people can purchase some of the products and intellectual property that we have developed, over time. So we are going to go live with that particular project in April, because we're getting all the technology around it. So sometimes just creating a website, where you market your product, people download, we will be asking people to download some of I've written a book, and when we launch in April, we're going to put our book there and people can, and out of that book, we have developed digital products as well, as you were talking about. So we've developed a course and 2 courses. And can I make an announcement here on your show, Tafadzo? With effect from February, we will be marketing our financial course on Facebook, where we invite people to, because we've been going through recordings, of sessions, so people can access some of our recording, use a credit card, pay for the course. So that's another practical way. As Maya has indicated, we are gifted differently. We have developed certain experiences. So it's just a question of thinking about some of the experiences that you have, developed over time. And fortunately, with the development of internet, the digitization that we are experiencing, the cost of putting such products on the internet is actually going down, over time. So I like digital products as a way of generating passive income. And ultimately, this is the last practical idea. One of the things that we are also doing in our company is identifying a portfolio of companies that will do well in the future. Companies that we understand very well, that we have researched on, and then investing in those companies and coming up with a portfolio so that, at some point we are shareholders right from, the startup of those companies. So we are building a portfolio of companies that we know that over time, some of them have the potential of going even public. So that's another area that we're exploring, and we've made 1 or 2 investments, there. So those are the ideas that I can put on the table, Tafadzo.
Thank you very much for those ideas. I hope our listeners will pick 1 or 2 ideas and start working on them. Maya, we are coming to the end of our program. Any closing comments?
I always say we only have one life, and let this one be amazing. So we need to, I'm not saying that getting financially free is like a thing for 1 day or 2 or 1 year even. So we need to devote some 3 to 5 years of hard work into our passive income, into our investment knowledge, into investing itself, and then we can have the cookies for the rest of our life. So it can be done easier. That's where I would like to finish.
And Themba, any closing comments?
So I totally agree with Maya. All the ideas that we've discussed today are very, very practical. You know, as far as building wealth is concerned, it doesn't matter whether you're in Africa or you are in Europe, the principles are the same. The principles of building wealth are the same. There are no principles that are specific to Europe and specific to, you know, to Africa. You have to get rid of limiting beliefs around money. You have to educate yourself when it comes to, you know, money issues. You almost have to take your future into your own hands, you know, so to speak. I think that's very, very, you know, important. And you also need to, you know, depending on the level of knowledge, we've spoken about passive investment today. I would advise you to go for it. It's something that can really be done. Maya is a very good example of somebody who has experienced financial independence and freedom, you know, per the definition that she has given. So I totally agree. As a parting shot, Tafadzwa, it's something that can really be done.
Maya, if our listeners would like to access your products or your services, where would they get hold of you?
Yes, for the listeners, this is the page. I think it will be best to share that link because it's a clickable link to my basically mastermind, where I teach you everything about mindset, about investing, about your goals, basically, so that we can start creating also passive income and building on the financial freedom for you. So yeah, you can just use that link. Tafadza, I'm sure you will give them the link in your Facebook section or whatever. So if anyone has any comments or any questions for me, you can freely ask even after the live. Otherwise, I would really love to thank you both. I really enjoyed, and it's amazing to see how me and Themba are basically using the same language, even though that we are in different part of the world, and that we have basically the same values around money, around investing and freedom.
And over to you, Themba, where if people want your financial coaching services, where would they get hold of you, and what would you want to say to the listeners about your products? And yeah.
So Maya, we've also posted that link on the Facebook page where we are broadcasting to. So anybody who wants to click that link can go directly to the Facebook, you know, chat section, and you can click on that and get hold of Maya. For me, it's very easy to get hold of me. You can go to Tafadzwa's, you know, the dream that was worth waiting for, you know, page, and Tafadzwa can actually, you know, contact me from there. But I do have a website. That website is a company website, www.duplexinstitute.com. That's the website that I also have a YouTube channel, you know, in the name of Themba Mazibuko. So I'll also put the link on the Facebook page as well. Thank you very much, Tafadzwa.
Thank you very much to our listeners. Thank you for being here with us. Nonhlanhla says, thank you for informative session. Thank you for the feedback, Nonhlanhla. We thank you everyone who attended. If you'd want to contact Maya or Themba through us, you can send us a WhatsApp number. It's there on the Facebook, or you can write me an email. Tafadzwa tafadzwamazibukospeaks.co.za, or you can visit our website, www.tafadzwamazibukospeaks.co.za. We appreciate your contribution and your attending the live shows. We don't take you for granted. We wish that as you get the knowledge, you also implement so that it's put to use. I hope you enjoy the rest of the weekend. From me, Maya and Themba, have a great weekend. Cheers.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, Maya. It was great meeting you. And hopefully we'll connect again.
And thank you, Tafadza, again. It was great show. I believe it was great.
Thank you. Cheers.
Thank you. Bye-bye.